Okay, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss show. I think I did an episode like this before, like a stand-up comedy type thing, and I figured like this would probably be the best time to do something like this. Like I can't go out to no comedy club. I honestly, that's a dream of mine though. I want to go and do stand-up comedy at a comedy club one day. I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna do it. I do that from time to time. I look up like comedy clubs in Seattle and stuff. Federal Way, they ain't got no comedy clubs. Federal Way honestly has nothing. Like if you live out in Federal Way, like what honestly though, answer that. What do we have? If you say the Commons Mall, you're a liar. You are a liar. I'm sorry, but I can't trust you if you love Federal Way. There ain't nothing good out in no Federal Way. But anyways, yeah, I want to do I want to do a comedy special, like a comedy special type episode and stuff. So anyways, I do like improvised comedy. I don't know, like I can write stuff down, but then that's the point. Like that's why like I don't really want to. I'd rather just talk about what I think about, because if I write it down, I get to a point where I don't know how to spell something. Yeah, I still struggle with that. Alright, I'm back. I had to switch microphones. Actually, my microphone, it's from the laptop. It actually sounds good. I was listening to it and I was like, wow, that sounds real nice. It sounds just like the Blue Snowball. But anyways, but yeah, back to what I was saying. I don't know how to spell certain words. I still struggle with that till this day. There's times where I be trying to spell a word, and it'll be like simple words too, like words I didn't spelled a million times before. And then it gets to like that one time where I'm like sending off like a text message, or I'm like writing down the post, or I'm like writing down the description from one of my YouTube videos. And I'm like, dang, I know I've spelled this word numerous times. And I'm like, what? Why? Why did words gotta just be, why is it that our brains got, I was thinking about that earlier. I was like, we probably evolved backwards as humans. If you sit down and think about it, like the first few humans that was on Earth, they were smart. They knew everything that they needed to know. Then all of a sudden, cigarettes, beer, what else got discovered? Weed. I'm saying, man, there's things that got discovered that we just did not need. We most likely would have been remembering some stuff. That's like the one thing that I tell people when they ask me, like, do I remember something? I'm like, I tell people straight up, like, look, I don't remember things from last week. I don't remember stuff from a couple of hours ago. I honestly don't, too. I don't even know what I was doing a couple of hours ago. What, a couple of hours ago was like 7 o'clock? What did I do at 7 o'clock? I was watching TV. That's honestly what I was doing. Do I know what I was watching? No. I don't even know. Wait a minute. I was watching Shawshank Redemption. So, okay. So, maybe 3 hours. Because 6 o'clock, what was I doing at 6 o'clock? Yeah, I don't even know what I was doing at 6 o'clock. So, yeah, 3 hours. So, I would have to say that my brain has gotten better at remembering stuff. But, yeah, I had to thank my podcast. I had to thank my podcast for that. Like, doing my podcast, I feel like I'm one of those, like, apes from Planet of the Apes. The ones that the new ones, like the last like 3 ones they came out with. Like I feel like I've been like injected with something. Now I'm just like all of a sudden like remembering stuff, putting shapes in the right things that they need to go in. What else? I'm remembering what I need to remember. But I'm telling you, people, they ask me. There's like that's how I honestly became friends with one of my friends. She asked me if I remember, because I think she was dealing with some stuff. I messaged her, sent out, saying, I'm like, hey, if you need somebody to talk to, I'm here for you. I sent that out. I thought I had sent that out in 2015. Turned out I sent that out in 2014. And, I was like, I remember it was maybe like a few years later, then that's when she messaged me, like, wanting to thank me for saying that. And I'm like, a part of me was all like, dang. Like, I want to remember, but I don't remember. I'm like, this girl, seriously, I'm like, I don't know. She could be lying, but I'm like, nah. It was funny because I remember I was scrolling through my messages on Facebook, and then seeing like off of her old profile and stuff, because that's when she had sent me that. It was she was sending me it off of her new I guess she created. See, that's another thing. I don't remember adding her as a friend. I don't remember her adding me as a friend. I don't remember adding her as a friend on social media. So that's why I'm like, there are things that I just don't remember. And, but no, she, it was off of her, old profile. we had that conversation and stuff, and I like went back and read, and I was like, I honestly don't remember even sending those messages, and I'm looking at the messages like right there and things. So that's why I'm like, I don't know. Maybe there was a day where I was like half asleep or something, and it probably was even. It was like probably in the middle of the day. Like that's what I'm like. I don't start falling asleep until it's been like 4 or 5 hours of just straight up pure darkness. Like lately, I've just been falling asleep at like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. Last night I fell asleep and I didn't even know I fell asleep. I was getting ready to, I was gonna make me some music, make me some YouTube videos. I wake up and I'm like, what just happened? Like what was it? And see, then that's another thing that I don't remember like the last few minutes of me going to sleep. That to me, that it freaks me out at times, because I'm like, dang, what happened? The worst is when like you fall asleep and you just fall asleep like too good, like it just straight up just sneak up on you. I honestly believe that. I believe that there is a spirit. There's a knockout spirit. There's like a boxer from like the 30s that was just really good, but he probably died in some tragic accident, but he cursed like all of humanity. So anytime like his thing is that he just put people to sleep. And I feel like that's honestly, there is a ghost spirit that just goes around and just puts people to sleep. You ever just be like watching TV, playing video games? You just be sitting there just chilling. Next thing you know, you find yourself waking up to birds chirping outside. What else? Your video game character, he's been standing there for like the past 5 hours. You know, I've fallen asleep playing racing video games. I have fallen asleep playing Forza. That's a racing video game. I felt myself driving on the grass. Like the controller will vibrate. So when you go over the grass or you go over a bump, the controller will vibrate. I dozed off, went to sleep, and then all of a sudden my controller just started shaking. See, that's why I'm like, man, like, is that a sign? Like, should I have a car? Or should I not have a car? I feel like I wouldn't be that irresponsible in things, but I'm telling you, man, like, there is a ghost spirit that exists in this world, and they just be going around just knocking people clean out. I read that as a fact somewhere. They said, like, when you snore, you're not even asleep. You're, like, just unconscious. You're pretty much in the state of a boxer that just got knocked out. And I'm like, dang, really? Like, that's the thing, though. Like, when you see some stuff like that on the internet, most likely wasn't even real. There's, like, a fact like that. I'm like, who even knows things like that? How do you know what you're doing when you're asleep? Like, that's why I'm like, you know, you don't know if you snoring. You don't know what you're doing. That's why I'm like, some people snore, some people don't. But how do you know a fact like that? That's why I'm like, you're going to have to explain that one to me. Scientists is going to have to explain that one, because I don't understand it. Like, please. That's like some stuff that honestly I had, like, that's the type of stuff I feel like teachers need to be talking about in classes and stuff. Like the facts that be traveling the internet. Like, I feel like that they just need to sit down, have a discussion with their students. Like, what have you seen on the internet that was questionable? There's this all like, is it true that dogs are colorblind? I'm like, okay, let's talk about that for the day. What other things that's like that I seen on the internet? I remember, you know what? I'll never forget my sister, she told me, I think I've talked about this before. I remember I swear my sister should be saying and doing things. I'm like, man, do you must think we somebody else. Like, I don't know. But she told me that when we all fall asleep at night, that we turn into mannequins. I remember when she told me that, I was just all like, Nikki. Like, that's my sister's name and stuff. But I'm like, Nikki, how do we turn into mannequins? I'm like, I've been up in the middle of the night. There have been times like that's what I'm thinking, like, so do people just stop being mannequins when a person's awake at night? Like, I don't understand that type of behavior. Like, nah, explain that one to me. So that's something I'll bring up in the classroom and get laughed at by a bunch of students and stuff, because they're like, what are you talking about? Like, what is going on in your household where questions or stuff like that is being, like, discussed? Like, I'm like, yeah, I honestly, I looked at I didn't believe it. She told me that when I was a kid, and I was just like, I did not believe it. She was trying to, like, convince me, though. I give her credit for that. She was really doing her best to convince me of things. She had her whole backstory. She sat down and thought about this. And I know she had to think that she was just so confident in getting me to believe it, but I'm like, I've been up in the middle of the night. And that was the thing. Back like years ago when we were much younger, when I was like a kid, she was a kid herself. We lived in a 1-bedroom apartment. We all slept in the same room. So there was at times where I would wake up in the middle of the night. I don't know why I do that. I still do that till this day. I'll wake up in the middle of the night. I'll either play video games, watch TV, watch some YouTube videos. Like I like how like overall as I got older, I evolved in my like late night activities and things. And it's just gonna keep on evolving and stuff. But no, I was just like, there's times I wake up in the middle of the night. I look at my mom, I look at my dad, I look at my sister. They all just passed out, snoring, sleep, occasional movements. But they did not look like those clothing statues in Macy's. That's why I'm like, I don't understand. How does that even make any sense? Why would something like that even exist? That's why I'm like, I don't want to question God activities and what he does with people, but that's something where I'm like, the day that me and him meet, I'd be like, why did you have it where we turned into mannequins while we were asleep? Like, was that to protect us for something? Like, I feel like there is an explanation behind it, but I'm like, that's somewhere I'm like, nah, I can't. Can you just like explain that to me? I'm being curious. If you don't, I understand. You a busy man and things, but yeah, I'm like, I don't want to. I just want to know, but I ain't trying to cross you. I ain't trying to question your abilities and what you're doing and stuff. But that's something I would just have to ask him. But yeah. That's what I'm all like, man. Older siblings, I'm telling you, they be trying to they just straight up be trying to do their younger siblings dirty. They tell them some things, and they repeat it back to other people. I think that's honestly what she was trying to do. She was trying to get me to repeat it back to other people and stuff. And I'm like, no, this plan failed. You will not get me caught up. Got people looking at me like I'm crazy and stuff. I've had that happen to me before too. I said some things. I remember it was I was a kid though. It was something I'm like, you just like you don't really. That was the thing. I was like, I didn't really know how to place my words and stuff when I was younger. So I say things meaning something else, but I know what I meant. It's just other people. They just like, what are you trying to say? Like I have other people solve my riddles for me, but I'm the only one that knows the riddle. So that's why I'm like, yeah. I struggle with my words at times. But anyways, I think it was like Christmas or something. And now thinking about it, I'm like, these are just some like dumb ornaments to just have. It wasn't even a legitimate Christmas tree. This was like some plant that you get at Lowe's or something for like $19.99 or something. But anyways, who was at my old elementary school in West Seattle. I'm gonna talk about that elementary school too, because I'm like, there's some things I gotta discuss about that school. But anyways, they had a plant with cows with Christmas lights wrapped around it. And so younger me and things, I see it because I think I don't know, did I get in trouble? I might have gotten in trouble, and that's why I was in the office. I did get in trouble a lot when I was in at that school. Seemed like as I got as I got older, when I just left that whole school district, I feel like that's when the trouble had stopped. Like I did get my detention though. At middle at the second elementary school I went to, middle school, high school, I sure did get my detention. Proud of it too. Not really, but anyways, but yeah, I was just like, why is there cows flying around the tree? I think I said something like that, and they just thought it was so funny. I think I said something like, I didn't know cows can fly, and then they just thought it was so funny and things. I'm like, I'm being dead serious here. When did cows fly? I'm like, y'all think this is a game, but no, this is a discussion. Like, what if this is like the end of humanity and things? Like, no, we need to talk about this. But that's what I'm like, the thing is, I don't be laughing at kids when they be saying some stuff. If they say some things, I feel like nobody does now. If a kid says some things, and it's just like I don't know, you still got those parents that'll send it into America's Funniest Videos, but I don't know. Me, I'm like, if a kid says some things, I'm like, why do cows fly around the tree? Kid come up to me and he's just all like, can cows fly? I'm like, can they? We don't see what cows be doing behind doors. We never know what they're doing behind doors. They just seem like they're a cow, but kids, if they start questioning stuff, you gotta believe your kids. That's what I don't like about horror movies. When the kid, they see the ghost or they see the giant monster man and nobody don't believe. They're like, Johnny, you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. You're not doing kid activities. You're over here talking about ghosts. Is this your imaginary friend? Who is this ghost? And then they all die. And then the kid, he's the only one. Then he's end up getting taken away by the cops. He gotta look at his house burned down because of the crazy monster, man. That's what I'm like, man, you guys. That's what I'm like, look at that movie Halloween. Everybody pretty much got killed in that movie. And then talking about that movie, Halloween, how come Michael Myers has not died throughout that whole movie? That whole movie series. They then shot him, set him on fire, cut his head off. Speaking of that, they didn't even honestly. So what was I watching? And they said that they didn't even. So Jamie Lee Curtis didn't even really cut his head off. Turns out she was having a hallucination, and she cut off a paramedic's head. And then I guess they said in some later Halloween movie he kills Jamie Lee Curtis, but turns out that was a hallucination. He didn't even kill her. I'm like, man, that's why I'm like, don't do that with movies. If you show it, show it. No, because that's what they did with the Halloween movies. So they came out with one, I think it was a couple of years ago. I think it was in 2018. I think that's when they came out with this like new version of Halloween. They had Jamie Lee Curtis in there. They even had the original Michael Myers from the first one. I was just like, oh, that's pretty dope. I mean, you ain't going to see his face, but that's just dope to know that and things. But hold on. Had to take off my hoodie and stuff. But anyways, but yeah, so when they came out with that new one, so all of the previous Halloween movies, except the first one, all were canceled. Those never exist. So my favorite Halloween movie is Halloween H2O. I think that's a lot of people's favorite Halloween movie. But it doesn't exist. That Halloween does not exist. And I'm like, are you serious? But I watched the movie. So how you going to tell me that something just doesn't exist? And I'm like, I seen it. Jamie Lee Curtis has a kid. LL Cool J is in there. He gets shot, but he, survives. Like, I'm saying, like, I seen this. I'm like, nah, you ain't playing with me like that. Nah. I'm like, that will not happen. I'm like, I will not be a part of these, movie activities and things. That's why I'm like, nah, if that's the case, I'm like, that's why I don't like the, what they're doing with the Hulk movies. They just overall, they're all like, oh, those previous Hulk movies, they'll like mention it in the Avengers movies, but they overall, like, they're non-existent, like them Hulks and things. But they had changed up Hulk a bunch of times, so I guess it makes sense. But speaking of Hulk, that's what I was like, I'm customizing some shoes like based off of Hulk. I got like the upper is gonna be green, bottom part's gonna be purple. Then I'm gonna make the shoelaces purple and stuff. I plan on going all out with these shoes and things. I'm probably gonna wear them too. There's like a few shoes. That's what I don't really like about what I do with stuff. Like I'll get started on something, but then I won't finish it. Like I ain't got started on these one shoes. They were like supposed to be like a Batman theme, but then I messed up. And I was just like, it then came up with like a much more better idea after I done messed up. I'm like, dang, I could have went with that. That's one thing I don't like. Is like when you think of something after you already done made your mistakes. Like you done made your mistakes. And I'm like, wow, really? Like then you just sitting there just disgusted with the world. And I'm like, God, I don't like that. I don't like that feeling. That's a feeling I just really just don't like. But yeah, been customizing shoes. It was a friend of mine. The friend that she sent me, or yeah, she was saying like, oh yeah, you was there for me all those years ago, and I'm like, I don't remember. But anyways, me and her became good friends. Then bought each other a crap ton of gifts. And that's what she did. She was like, I think she was trying to hit my emotional side with this gift. She got me some painting gear. And I remember I was like, I remember I did some old bad Sharpie job with these one shoes. And, yeah, it makes sense though, cause her business is painting and things. And so, yeah, she did that. And I was sitting there, I almost got emotional, but then at the same time, I'm like, nah, like even though I'm by myself looking at these gifts, like I ain't gonna get emotional with it and things, but she got me paintbrushes. She got me the other things I don't know about. Then she got me the paint itself. I was like, man, she went all out with that gift. I was like, thank you. I was just like, nah. I'm like, I like that gift. I like it a lot. But yeah, I was like, painting is like, man, it wasn't like how it was back in the day. I remember when I was a kid and I would paint and I'd just be like, it'd be so fun. Like you don't know what you painting. You painting a car, but really it's just a box with 4 wheels underneath it. And then a smaller box in front of it, and that's supposed to be the engine area. Honestly, though, like, to anybody that remembers drawing those cars, like, back in the day and things, when you were a kid, do you think that any of them cars would be drivable? Like, seriously, them cars that we were driving back in the day, or them people that we were drawing, do you think, even the people, do you think those people, them stick figures that we were drawing, do you think that they would be able to survive? As small as they were, how much would they even weigh? That's what I'm like, man, the stuff that we were drawing. But no, like, drawing was just so simple when we was younger. So simple. Drawing, painting. You get older, then you're all like, dang, this stuff is a challenge. That's why I'm like, artists, like people that like the person that drew Mona Lisa, or the man that was drawing the presidents on the money and things. Like, that's why I'm like, man, I don't know how y'all did it. I really don't. I'm like, I've been trying to come up with some technology if I was in the 1800s trying to draw them guys. I'm like, nah, I can't sit here for no 5 hours drawing Abraham Lincoln. I'm like, dude, can we like discover something here? Can we discover like it's a small box, but it like, it takes like a picture and things. Well, I wonder when was the word picture discovered? When were pictures invented? 1826. Okay. Yeah, I'm like the first photograph. Yeah, I'm like, we gotta like figure out something to take. It just instantly takes the picture or the photograph and stuff, like what I'm trying to do. But I ain't trying to sit here and be I'm like watching wrestling right now. These guys they out here fighting in a football field. Wrestling be so weird sometimes. But anyways, I'll probably talk about wrestling and stuff. I feel like I need to. Wrestling be having some weird situations. But anyways, I've been like, no, we gonna have to come up with something, because I'm not sitting here for no disrespect, Abraham Lincoln. You be doing some nice things for the people and stuff. But I've been like, we gonna have to come up with a faster way on doing this, because I'm sorry. I'm like, I'd be the best painter in town and stuff. I'm like, nope. I can't do it. I'm not doing it. I'm like, what? You have to... See, that's what I'm like with my friend, because I sat down and I thought about it. I was just like, I would... Because she be painting houses and stuff, so I sat down and thought about it. I was just like, I'd like to do that one day, like paint some houses with her and stuff. Help her out and things. But as I was painting these shoes, I'm like, I can't even sit down and paint these shoes. Like, this is your guys' career. This is what y'all want to do. And I'm like, wow. That's wild. I'm like, man, it's like, but they painting houses and stuff. I'm like, I figure out an easier way. I'm like, let's just get like a bucket of paint and just throw it at the wall, and just whoever owns the house, I'm like, just take your hands and smear. Just take your hands and smear and stuff. That's all you got to do in things. But anyways, talking on wrestling, I'm telling you, like, these guys, when they be wrestling or be fighting and stuff, you would thought they were really serious. Like, it's funny when they get mad, because it's like, you ain't really that mad. Like, you that mad over a championship belt. Like, that's what I'm like, I don't know. Like, even it's like with the real stuff too, like with UFC and boxing. I'm like, y'all really that mad over a belt? Like, you guys could have eliminated this whole thing. You guys could have just went onto the website, WWE.com, and bought you a belt. I'm watching the one show, AEW, though, but yeah, you could just go on the website or go on Amazon. Amazon got everything. You could go on Amazon and literally buy anything. I went on there, I was just all like, because my old laptop was messing up, so I was just like, oh, okay, I'll go out and get me a new laptop. I went on Amazon, I'm like, bet money Amazon got laptops. Sure enough, they did. But they were taking too long. I was like, man, I ain't trying to wait no 2-3 weeks to get me a laptop. I had to wait till, I think it had been this week to get my laptop. And I'm like, I'm not waiting that long. No, I am not. I need my laptop now. Luckily, Best Buy was open. They had like a couple of gaming laptops I had my eye on. And, I'm like, man, I'm not waiting no 2-3 weeks for no laptop. I'm like, what happened to same day shipping? That is honestly the best thing that Amazon could have did. I remember I got 2 things off of Amazon with the same day shipping. I got me a green screen and I got me a charger for my last laptop. It's like, that's what I'm like, when stuff like goes out on you and things, that's what I'm like, it doesn't make any sense. I don't understand it. Like, the laptop charger head was like, it just stopped working. I'm like, what kind of, you guys can't come out with some material, put this like in a metal like wrap thing to where the thing ain't gonna break? Like, what kind of mess is that where the laptop charger breaks on you? The laptop, one would think that would like break afterwards or something, like after the laptop itself done broken. And I'm like, nah, I'm like, man, I wouldn't. What's this? They showing the show. I got my TV on. My TV is so distracting. I don't know why I leave my TV on when I'm recording and stuff. But no, they showing this TV show called Snowpiercer. So let's just talk about this for a second. But yeah, anyways, Amazon got everything. You go on Amazon, you're like, I want to get me a puppy. They got. I bet you can buy a dog from Amazon. I bet you can. I'm gonna go on Amazon right now and put it to the test. Amazon dog. What the dog? They got dog food. They ain't got like a bunch of dog food stuff. Dogs. They ain't got dogs for sale. They got everything. They got like a bunch of, they like stuff I never even heard of. I'm like, what are these things? They got like what is this? It's a dog seat covers. Okay, let me just read the title of this, because I'm like, you guys just adding one too many things to the title. Your power dog seat cover for pets. 100% waterproof pet seat cover, hammock, 600D, heavy duty, scratch proof, non-slip, durable. I'm like, look, if it's a car seat thing for my dog, all I just need to know, is it going to cover my seat? I don't need to know all these other extra things. Like, yeah, if it's waterproof, dope. If it's poop proof, also throw up proof. Because dogs, they be doing that stuff in cars. They do. I'm like, I don't want to be a part of it. I ain't trying to clean that stuff up afterwards, too. I'm like, then if the stuff, if it's like waterproof, that means that stuff might get to sliding around and things. You know, I ain't trying to like come to a complete stop. Next thing you know, a bunch of poop done went flying off and then went and landed in the lower part of my car and stuff. I'm like, yeah, I don't want to be a part of that and things. But anyways, no, talking about this TV show, they call it Snowpiercer. Let me see real quick. I got a remote that just like got hit it one time, and even that didn't do it. Okay, that had to do it. There we go. I gotta hit my remote in order to like get it to work and things. Yeah, Snowpiercer. So they're on this super long train. And it just travels the world. And I'm like, I don't know. But then that's the thing, they can't even, because no, I was like, when they talk about it and they were showing it in the trailer and stuff, so it's like negative 100 degrees outside. So you can't go outside. You have to be on this train. You have to be. I'd be so mad. Like, imagine having like a family. Like, you know, if you're a woman, or whichever your preference is, husband, wife. If you a man, husband, wife, whichever. But you looking for your significant other on the train. You all like, babe, where are you? They're all like, oh, I'm on the 34th train cart thing. And I'm like, well, I'm on the 134th one. Because, no, the train is super long. I guess it's like a super long, super big train. They got homeless people, rich people. They got average people like myself. They got everybody on this train. But anyways, like, who created the train? Was it the president? Who, like, I'm like, I need to know these things. But anyways, yeah, they got the military on the train. They got everybody on this train. But you all like, babe, like, where are you? She's all like, oh, I'm on the 34th train cart. I'm like, why are you so far away? I told you to meet me at the 4th one. You all the way in the 30th, so now we gotta walk. I'm like, no, they better give me an electric scooter if I'm gonna be going through. Dang, they like beating up the people and stuff? What kind of abusive train is this? Like, you go on the train and you getting jumped by the military? That's messed up, man. That's messed up. That ain't even right. I wouldn't even know what's a worse situation, like, cause this show looks good. I might have to watch this show, but I don't know if this is worse or The Walking Dead, like a zombie apocalypse or this type of apocalypse where you closed off on a train and you out here getting jumped by the military and stuff. Like, man, Walking Dead though, cause like, no, with this whole coronavirus and then the quarantine and all that stuff, There are people, they honestly, they're like going crazy, but not like Walking Dead crazy, but they just can't stay indoors. I'll admit, I'm the same way, because I'm like, look, I gotta go outside. I don't care if it's raining. I gotta go outside. I gotta get me some fresh air. I can't be indoors. It like mentally, it does something to you. Like, I gotta go out and things. Look, they jumping the kids. Not the military, but it was like some other kids and stuff. Damn, they people went crazy on this show. But anyways, no, like, but Walking Dead, though, I'm like, some of the things that they be doing on that show, what they got rats on the train for? That is crazy. That is some crazy stuff. They got rat infestation on the train. I'm like, y'all ain't even trying to control this? Like, you guys just gonna let us sleep with some rats? I ain't sleeping with no rats. I'll find a bathroom on that train and sleep in it. But I'm like, I ain't sleeping on this train. It got rats and stuff. But, no, with Walking Dead, they had these one villains on this show called the Whisperers. Some of you guys might know who they are. But, yeah, they cut off people's face, and I said face, I don't even know what face is. But they cut off the people's face, and they wear it. And they wear it like it's a mask. So they'll like cut off like the back. Oh, they even have the one dude off of there. He played in Grand Theft Auto, and he was on Walking Dead. Oh, that's pretty dope. It looked like him. Sometimes their actors be looking to like, oh yeah, that's him. That's him. That's pretty dope how they got him on this show. So he's still out here doing his thing. I was thinking about that the other day. I'm like, what's Trevor from Grand Theft Auto doing? Yo, Trevor, like, play Grand Theft Auto 5, and you pay attention to that character, Trevor. That dude, he crazy. But anyways, but yeah, on Walking Dead, he was on Walking Dead too. But no, the Whisperers, they'll cut off like the back part of the person's head. They cut off like the whole. They don't cut their heads off, but they just cut like the face and just the whole head region. So they just wear it like a mask. I'm pretty sure y'all get the picture and stuff. But I'm just saying, like, I hope that there's not any of my friends that go that crazy. Like, that's why I'm like, man. Like, one of my closest friends, me and her, we watch that show all the time. We be sitting there texting each other, like, you know, like, reviewing it and things. We be talking about it and stuff. And I'm just like, I'm afraid, like, dang, what if she does that? What if she goes crazy like that? I'm saying, like, I would be like, I'm sitting here traveling the world and stuff, saving people, killing zombies. I come back home. I'm all like, oh, dang. I'm like, I wonder if I'd like go by her place and things, you know, because I don't know whether she's alive or not. I go over there. It's her and a bunch of other people wearing masks. I'm like, nah. This is not the same person I was playing Call of Duty. Honestly, though, because it's like they be acting different in Walking Dead. Me, I think I'm going to still be myself. Like, I might be a little bit on the edge and stuff, but I'm still going to be myself and things during the zombie apocalypse. But I would see her and be like, yo, what's this? What is this? Like, what are you doing? I'm like, you take that mask off. You know exactly who you talking to. I'm not calling you no alpha. I'm calling you by your actual government name. Like, I know you, okay? Like, we went to school together. Like, don't you play no games with me. I'm like, I will not be a part of this little zombie apocalypse game you got going on. I'll tell her straight up. I would. I know she would like it. She'll like bow down and call me alpha. I'm like, I will not bow down, and I'm not calling you no alpha. I'm like, you gonna call me by my name, Tyler. I'm like, okay, and I'm gonna call you by your name. I ain't gonna say it, you know, for protective reasons and stuff, you know, protecting. People be acting crazy. No, it was weird one day. I remember it was a hater from YouTube followed her on Instagram. I'm like, why? Like, why haters be acting weird, especially YouTube haters and stuff. Like, you can't, I'm telling you, people, if you are going to be a YouTuber, be careful of the haters on there. They are some weird people. They are some weird people. I'm telling you, they show up to your house, I seen the one guy, a hater went to his house, threw a glass bottle at his car. One guy, he had like one of them like little kitty chalk things. He was right. I can't remember what he was writing. I think he was like putting down like F you or something like that. And then when the YouTuber tried to stop him, he threw an egg at his window and took off running down the street. What other crazy things have... Oh yeah, the one hater, he showed up to the guy's house, was flipping his house off, walking around it and things. That's why I'm like, look, if you a hater or a fan, whichever, I don't like, it's like, that's why I'm like when fans though, because I don't think they know. But they're all like, oh, I want to go to my favorite YouTuber's house. Don't do that. Don't do that. I'm like, if they say like, okay, come over to my house, then okay. But if they haven't told you to come over and stuff, cause no, then they be getting mad. Like I was just hearing the one story where the guy showed up to his house and was all like, oh, let's make some videos, and the YouTubers are like, no, I don't know who you are and stuff. I'm not making any videos with you. The guy was acting all crazy and weird about it. Then the YouTuber threatened to call the cops, and then the guy ran. But then he came back and was just laying in his driveway. That's why I'm all like, see, that type of weird stuff, I might have to shoot you with a paintball gun. Give you just 10 headshots with a paintball gun. Clean across the forehead. And I hope it's a big forehead, too. I hope I hit, like, that upper part of the forehead and things, and then it just, like, a line. Like, I just line up the whole forehead. I give him a whole new lineup across that forehead. But I'm saying, though, like, don't do stuff like that. I know people, because, no, I remember one guy, he was trying to argue with me on YouTube about that. He was just like, you should be able to show up to a YouTuber's house. No, you shouldn't. You should not. I don't know, what kind of argument is that? You don't argue with a person about whether you get to show up to their house or not. No, if I ain't invited you over to my house, that's the end of it. That's the end of it. There ain't no, show up to the... I need to make another video about that, because I already have a feeling there are going to be people that say some old dumb stuff like that and things, but... telling you, man, like, YouTube, it's a strange place. It's a very, very strange place, man. I ain't gotten into it with like kids and stuff on YouTube. I got into it with this one kid. He looked like the dude from Men in Black, the bug guy and stuff. He was at the beginning. He was that like thing landed, made his face like all sideways and stuff. I'm telling you, I cannot make it up. The kid he looks like a younger version of that guy. It looked like that guy. I'm telling you, I can seriously rewrite the whole Men in Black movie, have it where I'm like young Will Smith, and then that's the young bug man. This happened like when we were in high school. You know, I tried taking him out then, but he somehow got away. Then we get older. Then it focuses on new, like, you know, today's Will Smith. And then they focus on the bug guy today. I'm telling you, that would be, I'm like, it can work. It can work out. I'm like, I might be too dark to be Will Smith and things, but I think I can pull it off. I think I can and stuff. But, no, I remember there was this, there was just like super racist. I feel like I ain't had one too many racist encounterments and things. This wasn't even on YouTube, but this substitute teacher at my old elementary school, she called me Will Smith one day. I didn't know whether it's like, you know, now I think about it, I'm like, yeah, that's just racist. I'm like, why it had to be Will Smith? It couldn't have been like Robert De Niro, Jim Carrey, like it couldn't have been somebody, you know, like that's not of color. It had to be somebody of color and stuff. But she said that, and I'm like, I laughed about it. But then as I get older, I'm like, what? I am a shade darker than Will Smith. I look nothing like Will Smith. How do you even get that? And I'm like, man, that's some stuff where I'm like, she don't know her black people. It's okay. You know, it's like we don't know our people. Black people don't know people either, but you know, we try to like guess it correctly and stuff. But she said that, I was like, man, I laughed about it, but I'm like thinking about that elementary school though. That elementary school, I'm telling you, that's what I had to say. I was like, why I'm the person I am today because of that elementary school. That elementary school, you learned nothing from there. I feel like if I went to another elementary school and learned some things, I'd probably have been in college. I probably have been like the next Barack Obama running for president. I've been 23 years old running for president. And I won too. It's like a lot better than our current president and things. But anyways, yeah, that elementary school, I learned nothing from that school. But, you know, I managed, I got out of there in the 4th grade. I was like, no, I can't go. Cause I kept getting suspended and stuff. So I had to go to a different school and things, but yeah, because I think they were threatening to expel me, and my mom was all like, we just eliminate all that. We just gonna take him to another school and stuff. So yeah, that school, but I ain't learned nothing from that school. There's some cool people there and things, but I still ain't learned nothing from that school. But anyways, yeah, that is all the time I have for you guys right now. I can't really think of anything else to talk about. I'll try to remember to do more episodes like this, but yeah, I don't know. I gotta think of some more things to talk about and stuff. But Anyways, I will talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode. If you're viewing this on YouTube, like and subscribe. If you're viewing this on the podcast streaming service, make sure you follow or subscribe, however it's set up. And if you're purchasing tickets from SeatGeek, make sure you use my promo code TMossBoss. It will knock $20 off your first purchase. And that being said, I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you for watching or listening, and peace.